there and live and so on and so forth. Well, apparently Test was also still getting a cut, and Goons was like, "Yeah, we want Test out." I guess when the contract came up to be re-signed, Goons wanted Test off the list because, well, Test wasn't a fucking alliance anymore. They're even now they own one little fucking constellation in Declan, right? So Billy, who was Test way back in the day, he's like, no, I'm not taking him off. So because Goons wanted Test off and wanted Brave to take its place, because at that time Brave is kind of like it's a major alliance right now. So Billy didn't want to do that. So Goons like, okay, well, we're gonna fucking blow it up, and that's what they did. So it was a huge battle. You had fucking some people in Test, all of Pandemic, all of Frat defending it, while Goons, Brave, and literally any other fucking small alliance joined Goons.
I'm glad they took that shit down, because it's just like such a, disgusting display of wealth and control from the gigantic null blocks, and I can only imagine the taxes that they were collecting off of that structure.
So that structure was earning, I think, at the height, it was earning a trillion ISK a month.
Yeah.
But it leveled down to I think like 800, between 6 to 800 bill, because of just players leaving, and so you don't have that, obviously, that traffic, right? Sure. So still, they were earning around 800 billion a month. And when you think of Test, who didn't even own any Sov at the time, they went into faction warfare. That's how fucking non-existent they were. And they were still collecting a hefty fucking check. And that's like, yeah, bullshit. Well, Brave is getting none of it, and they've become a pretty substantial no-block alliance. Yeah, bullshit.
And that's a portion of the game that I never really got into, in terms of like understanding the drama and the different levels of control out in nullsec. I know that there are a lot of people that do follow that, but yeah. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Spamming my link around.
Very good. Yeah, that's the all I choose you markets are all owned by Billy.
Yep.
And honestly, the trading tower was, I think, the tip of it, because Goons, they actually attacked all the other major structures throughout, like Amar, all the I choose you and Amar and Dixie and all that shit. Because now you can't have large structures anchored in HiSec anymore, so they just took the advantage and started bashing that.
You can't put a keep star in HiSec anymore.
Correct. No keep star, no Fortizar, and I think what is the other?
You can't put a Fortizar in HiSec anymore?
No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now I need to know if Ms. Neaton still has a Fortizar.
Yeah, pretty much any large structures you still see in HiSec, it's kind of grandfathered in. But once they get blown up or taken down, that's it. So that's why all the I choose you markets are all in small structures now, because that's the. If you go to perimeter, that's why
they do still have a Fortizar in Ms. Neaton. It's a HiSec.
A module has run out of charges.
Maybe we should go bash Ms. Neaton. Pop the Fortizar. That was one of my things I told Kat, and I said maybe I'll come back to the game and go bash the Ms. Neaton Fortizar.
Gotta see who they have to defend. Who they have friends.
Well, it's probably the same group of people, I would imagine. Just grown up a little bit more with more people. I'm warming up with a T4, and it feels kind of silly.
Yeah, if you ever go to perimeter, you should still be able to see the tower remnants that CCP decided to kind of leave there as a gravestone.
I like that they do that. That's very cool.
Yeah, because I know hell, we were even talking about it before bashing it. I'm like, you know how many people are going to log in months later when they took their kind of month break, a couple of months or a couple of year break, and they come back and, oh, wait, what happened? You're going to see a lot of pissed off players.
Eve's one of those games where, I mean, on the flip side of that too, though, like with like all the scarcity and all this sort of stuff, there were people who were sitting on piles of minerals, right, that are now like omega wealthy because it's basically they were just sitting on stocks that just skyrocketed in value.
Yeah.
And so it's like in the same vein of where like you can take a couple month break and have like a gigantic loss like that. There are people that come back from their big break and have like a giant windfall as well. Gosh, I wish that I didn't abyssal so many of the HEVA low slot modules, the ones that give you the bonus to drones and to missiles. Because when I was abyssaling those, I was abyssaling them in batches of like 10 to 20, and they cost like 200 mil a pop, like 180, 200 mil a pop. Now they're 500 mil, dude. And I thought that would happen because I was sitting here thinking like, wow, I am destroying so many of these. I know so many other people are too. Yeah, those things are like 500 mil a pop just for a module.
That's crazy.
Like a faction module, not even...
the capacitor is empty.
There's a lot of things that have changed since I've been gone for like not even that long that are pretty exciting too. Like back then, the Stormbringer did not have a faction damage module or an officer weapon, which is really cool. Now we have like even stronger mutaplasmids.
Oh yeah.
The nerf on battleship shield extenders and stuff on Marauders, I think that was warranted. I had a golem that was like 1.2 million EHP pumping 3k DPS that was like full buffer, and that's a little silly. The new Deathless ships, like the Tholos, man, I fucking love the Tholos. I like what they're doing with that. It's really fun to fly too. So a lot of things have changed that are exciting for someone like me. And then when I see the people that are generally like complaining right now, it seems to be people that are like very indie focused who are kind of getting hit hard by the scarcity. And I think that's the biggest rub with the game right now is that the disparage between different income earning levels, because there's a lot of the people that play, most of the people that play the game spend a lot of their time mining or doing like semi-AFK, like background stuff, and it makes it really, really, really difficult to get people to want to come do things that cost money whenever, the thing you're asking them to go do is like, yeah, I just want you to risk like 3 weeks of your work for this speculative PvP thing, and they're gonna be like, fuck that.
Yeah. I honestly, personally, have taken kind of a simplistic approach to playing the game. In the sense that I've focused I'll put it this way. I fly like really simplistic, like T1 ships across the board. You're not really going to see me in anything specific like hacks, hicks, interdictors, even though I'm skilled into it. But at the time, and I was a no block, I kind of wanted to get, into that. But anyway, most of my shit's in just T1 stuff. And I'll do Navy ships, but I don't really do anything more than that, Nothing specific into that. Like, you don't see me really in command destroyers or command battle cruisers. You don't actually really see me in battleships. I just kind of like, I don't know.
I think a lot of it is, there's the like age-old adage of don't fly what you can't afford to lose.
Right.
Now, also like some people might say like, oh, the risk that you're taking in to get that money that you're like right now, the amount of like money I'm putting on the field to generate the money that I'm generating right now, like they'll say like that risk isn't worth it. But in reality, it's like a lot of, think of it like poker, right? Like everything in Eve is a calculated risk. It's a matter of whether or not you're calculating it. Everything that you do has a certain level of an expected value outcome. If I go out in my Ishtar and nullsec rat, if I'm paying attention to local, I can make like an informed, calculated risk that like I'm very likely not going to lose my ship. Now, if I'm going to do that same exact activity and do my dishes at the same time, I should understand that I am increasing my risk like through that action. So it's like once you understand the level of risk that you're taking and you're able to contrast that to the level of income, it makes the equation a lot more simple. I think the issue is that a lot of people don't understand how to calculate the risk because there's so much in this game that you kind of have to like learn through trial and error. Even just something as simple as like traveling gate to gate in low sec. You know what I mean? They have one bad experience and they say, I am never doing that again. Instead of saying, what went wrong? How do I prevent that from happening again? They'll just say, like, I'm not doing that anymore. Which is an interesting phenomenon. That happens all the time. Like, to a point where like a lot of the mining people that I would play with, they would say like, just never go to Jita. Never go to Jita. They would tell other players this. Never go to Jita. You're gonna get ganked on the undock. Make sure you have insta undocks. Make sure you have this. Don't do that. And it's like, I understand why they are telling these new players these things. They're speaking from their own experience. The problem that I have is that they don't understand why they are telling this new player, right? They know that when they went there, they died, but they don't mechanically understand how that guy was able to insta-lock them and kill them before they were able to press dock. And if they did understand it mechanically, they would be able to explain that mechanic to the new player. But what ends up happening a lot of the time is you have like these veteran players who are kind of like noobs, right? They're noobs in veteran clothes who are not necessarily passing down misinformation, but they don't even understand the mechanics of the game well enough to be able to accurately teach a new player. And what I end up seeing is a lot of people who are just like scared to do anything. Oh, I don't want to go through Udama because I'm going to die. Well, what are you flying? I'm flying a T1 frigate. Yeah, so what's the problem with Udama? Well, I just hear that it's a really bad place to go. So yeah, you're hearing that from the guy that's been mining for 7 years, who autopiloted 4 build through Udama and got ganked because he doesn't know what he's doing. So it's like we end up like, there ends up being a lot of this like fear mongering that people end up doing without even realizing that they have these irrational fears that they're mongering to others.
I honestly fully agree with that. I'll be honest with you. Like when I was first playing the game, that's how I know like Johan and Aaron and all these guys is because I got into the corp really early.
Right.
But then I ended up after playing for like a year and a half, I had some things happen in life and pretty much went away from the game just to come back like a year later. And I took like a whole different approach at the game when I went and joined Brave. And I have to say that I learned a lot more in Brave for like the first month than I did at least half a year with these guys. And it's just relating to the same thing that you were just talking about. So, if you tell a new player don't do it and then you don't explain why, they're just like, okay, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, or they don't even know to say, okay, what the fuck, and they just fucking say like, okay, you know better than me, I'm gonna listen to you, veteran player. Right?
I was also kind of getting the same concept, even with Brave and Standing. Some people were like that too. And honestly, most people in Brave know that it's a new bro alliance. They take in new people, and they know that. Well, some people didn't fucking get it, I guess, and they've been with Brave for like literally years.
Well,
so
there's always
I would call them bitter vets.
They're gonna take it like too hardcore and serious, even if they're in a noob guild. That's just like, there's always gonna be like those types of people.
Yeah, absolutely. But honestly, there was some times that even people would just. There was one guy, he was mocked on Standing because what he said about. Because, obviously you're out in that space, you need ways to generate ISK, like we all do.
Sure.
And considering being out there, it's very fucking easy to lose your ships just because of content happens out there, so on and so forth. So, of course, the standard thing to do is either rat or mine. Well, a lot of the new bros they're ratting because Brave offers a free
SRP, they give you a Vexor, they get you all set up.
Yeah,
I joined
exactly.
Joining Brave was one of my first experiences, actually.
Okay, alright, so, yeah, actually, I think when I looked at your employment history, I saw that you were in Brave for some time. But, yeah, so some guy was like, well, no one should be, all the new bros should, I'll give them chips. Mining, or what do you say, the ratting's the worst thing you could fucking do. And everybody on the comms was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he wanted PvP, and he's like, that you're not going to make any money ratting. And everybody's like, what, are you fucking dumb?
Gotta make money somehow out here.
Yeah, you have to. You can't just get SRP left and right. I mean, in a way,
I had a very similar experience when I joined Null as a new player. I was like, okay, cool. How do I get started? I want to fly a Gila, and I want to do this. And I remember like some guy being like, nope, don't even fly the Gila. You're gonna get in this frigate and you're gonna be tackle all day. And I was like, huh? Like, why is that so? It was brand new, and I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to figure out how to make my first 100 mil over here, and he's trying to have me tackle day one. And what it is, dude, because a lot of these veterans, they want PvP, they want people in tackle, they want people in ships that they need, and you're just like cannon fodder to some of these people.
Yeah.
And granted, in Brave, there were a lot of people who were like all about teaching noobs and like getting them out in the null and getting them comfortable and all that. But it doesn't matter what corp you're in. There's always going to be like the sweats. I tend to be one of them in the groups that I'm in. So I'm not like 100% dogging on all the people that do it. Like, I get it. But it's not. That's not a fun environment for a new player. But not just that it's not fun, but it's also like Eve is a game where your impression and your thoughts and like your goals and all of that are kind of like molded in your infancy of like starting. And these people that get their claws on you when you first join the game and you get into a corporation, they have a lot of opportunity to kind of like mold and shape your outlook on the game, so they jump all over it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Now, that being said, I'd rather see people out in Null who are pushing the new players to do things outside their comfort zone in PvP than the high-sec corporation that's going to get the noob to go mine their moon for 20 mil an hour so they can skim 2 mil an hour off the top.
Yeah.
But it's fun to some people too, and I get that. But yeah, there's so many people that I would play with who would just be they would be crippled by fear.
Module has run out of charges.
And it's a video game, like to a point where like everything that they would do, they're just like worried. I would talk to like level 4 mission runner guys who've been running missions for a decade, who'd be out there and they're like 800 mil ship, like having anxiety attacks because 2 reds entered local, and I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit, even with like the streaming thing, like, I'll be streaming to 2 people, and I'll have someone say, like, you're not worried about getting ganked? It's like, dang, bro, can you imagine? Like, of course I'm aware. Of course I know that it's, like, bound to happen. I have people try me all the time. Like, does that prevent me from playing the game?
I mean, to some people, as you will know, since you talked about it does, but to others, it's part of the game.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad to me.
I tell you what, though, so this is something I've taken note in the last couple of years, is some people tend to try to compare this game to other MMOs in the terms of like class systems. I know, like, WoW, you have your tank, you have your healer. No, I never played it, but basically the concept is you had a specific role and you filled it, right? You would make a character for a specific role, right? If you had a healer, you're not going to go and kill things, like, or at least be efficient with it as you would, I guess, if you were a guy with being a tank or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So people try to then use that concept and implement it here in the game by, like, the ship classes themselves. For example, you would only use a harpy for tackle, and that's all you use it. You don't need to fit it with DPS or something like that, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, you can, but that's not the point. You can use it for massive DPS in a big fleet, right? But this is something happened to me. I'd never been in a huge fleet or anything like that, and so my corp CEO had me to get on comms during a situation where a Yeet fleet came into the system and they went straight to the ESS, right? So I'm here in this FC, right? So they're in Caracals. He assumed that the Caracals were long-range missile fit. They weren't ham Caracals, because this is coming from him, like, literally saying this. He's like, yeah, they're Caracals, yeah, they're going to be long-range. So when we come in, they're going to be all spread out, distance apart. So we're going to get rail Feroxes. Yeah. So rail fitted Feroxes brings them to the ESS, and all the Caracals from this so-called Yeet fleet sitting right on the button. Well, right on the warp into the bubble, right?
Yeah, they're all
ham-fitted Caracals.
Oh,
Ham-fitted Caracals.
Hell yeah. Even better.
Beating his long-range, low-tracking rail Feroxes, right?
Yeah, of course.
He gets fucking pissed. And I mean, he's on the mic, and it's like, who the fuck fits Caracal's ham?
Exactly.
Who the fuck does that? Why would you fucking do that? That's fucking retarded. And I mean, he's literally saying this.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm not even participating, and I'm just sitting and listening to it.
They did
I'm
it because you
laughing
wouldn't
my
expect it,
ass
you
off.
fucking idiot. Like,
I'm just like, what?
This happens in poker too. If you play like a maniac hand in poker, like, and you do something off meta, people will lose their mind when they lose the hand. They'll be like, I had that hand. And it's like, no, you never had it. And they're like, why would you bet, on the turn when you had XYZ and XYZ? It's like, no one would do that. And it's like, well, obviously I just did. It's so funny, dude. It's the same thing with poker. Poker players will get pissed when someone does something like off meta and just does like a gamble move.
But that's the point.
Yeah, sometimes
right?
It's just like, you know what? I'm going to do something unexpected and just gamble, because if I do what's expected against this person that's better than me, they're going to beat me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shit.
Well, it even gets better, right? So after he literally loses the complete fleet, and every single one of them dies, clearly, right? No Caracal dies from the E fleet. They basically got fed. They fucking left. That was it, right? So the CEO, we get back in our comms, corp comms, and mumble, and he asked me, okay, tell me what you thought went wrong there. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I told him, like, well, first and foremost, he should have sent a bait in there to see what they were fitted with, for them to kill him, whatever, so they can get the kill mail, so he could get the kill mail and actually see what he was up against. But he assumed, because most people fit Caracal's long range, he assumed that they were going to be long range because, I mean, because my CEO was in that, he was actually fighting them in the Ferox.
Sure.
And I said, so as you could hear him on comms, he was talking shit about them fitting a Caracal ham, short range brawly, even though the ship doesn't have, it's got bonuses to range or something like that, I believe, right?
Oh no, ham Caracal's a real thing, but yeah.
Yeah, but the reason why most people fit them with long range is because I think the Caracal has bonuses to the range of the missiles or something like that. So I guess kind of like
there's a reason why battle venture fleets work, dude.
Oh yeah, I know, I have them. I have Barry's Venture.
Those are some of my favorite things to do. Is just like get a couple of people together and like 5 mil ventures and go kill people with them, and it's so funny. And the people that you kill in your ventures, dude, they love it. They're just like, oh my god, I can't believe y'all did that.
Yeah, no, I actually fly over here in Faction Warfare. I actually have a battle venture, and I had some people in comms call me out, like, what do you do in that venture? What do you have a venture on you? What the fuck are you doing in that venture? And I'm like, it's a battle venture, and they're like, what do you mean a battle venture?
Native.
And these are people that have been playing the game longer than me.
Like, they literally have to bring 2 scrams or a faction point to lock you down.
That's literally, I mean, I have, like, my battle venture is, like, it's a hefty one. Has over 5,000 EHP. When the hull alone is, like, less than 1,000. And I have successfully done that. I've actually scrammed a fucking Praxis down with the battle venture, and then I had other people get secondary and third point on them, and me being scrammed, able to warp on out.
Yeah,
which is the most. That's if you want to fucking be a tackle, get an adventure, because then if they don't have a point or a faction scram with 3 points, you'll always be able to leave, just like that. And I've done that many times.
Yeah, it's like legit.
But like, so back to the Ferox thing. So I explained everything, right? And I think I explained it pretty fucking well, meaning that he just assumed, because everybody seems to follow the meta, I guess, if you will, on how to fit ships. You only fit like a fucking Caracal this way. You don't put fucking hams on a Caracal, like this FC was saying. And my CEO was like, no. He actually told me that I was wrong. I was wrong. meaning that we did everything right. Some people in the fleet, they weren't listening. And I was like, how do you come to that conclusion? They clearly use the part of being in a PvP. You really have no idea what they're fitted. You have no clue. You just assume because you assume that, well, you only fit a ship this way and that's the only way, and if it's not that way, it's a shit fit, which is a term I hear so often, and they throw it left and right, which, like, they use it for almost anything, and I'm like, you have no idea what they're using it for.
Oh, it's so funny, dude. Like, I've gotten in, I have a, acquaintance on Eve, and we will argue until the cows come home anytime I have my fitting window open. It's so funny. If there's a bonus on a ship, and I don't put that module on it, this guy will lose his mind. Like when I was running a golem with no target painter. He's just losing his mind. There's a passive buffer fit golem with no shield booster and no target painter, and he's like short-circuiting, like, what the fuck? Like, this is not going to work. And I'm like, not going to work against what? And he's like, well, you're gonna die. I'm like, against what? Like, it's got enough regen to outlast any mission, and buffer, at that time was arguably much better than active tank, 1.2 million EHP. I'm like, and he's like, but it's got bonuses for shield boost. It's like, yeah, but it's better with extenders. Like, it's like, just because it has a bonus for it doesn't mean that's the only option that you can ever use on that ship ever. I mean, back in the day, it was meta to mine in a fucking hauler. It's like people.
Yeah.
It's like people that didn't. I don't know, dude. I blame Twitch and YouTube for this, but after there was a certain period of time when the saturation of YouTube videos and Twitch streams for video games just kind of reached like this ubiquitous point where like everyone. It would just be a common practice to kind of go Google a method or a fit or your gear setup before you would even start theory crafting it yourself. And as someone who's always prided myself in doing my own theory crafting, it's like I'm not a big fan of that, but it's turned it into everyone's kind of like lazy when it comes to meta. They're just gonna like go find the popular streamer and do what they do. And at first I was really like butthurt about it, and I did not like that was the state of things. But then I kind of had a realization of like, well, because everyone acts that way, it creates this environment where like people are predictable now. Targets are predictable. PvP is a little bit more predictable. Raid compositions are more predictable. So that's nice. But the problem that I have with it is when you do something that's off the known meta, even if it is meta, people just aren't aware of it yet, they'll like dog you about it. Like I was playing Throne and Liberty, and I had people losing their mind that I was like playing a certain spec, but I was like doing top damage, never dying. It's like because they've never seen like a streamer do it. It's not a valid strategy in my mind. But then I remember them telling me like, don't come up with your own build, just use what a streamer comes up with. And I came up with my own build, and then guess what? All the streamers started posting that fucking build. Like, and if I didn't come up with it, I would have had to wait a month. Like, so I just don't. I don't knock people for it. Like, life is busy, and we all have a lot of shit going on. But people are definitely very, very, very much lazy when it comes to the meta and video games. And there's this. No one wants to figure shit out themselves anymore, or at least a vast majority don't. They just want to. They'll just say, Google it, bro. Like, why didn't you watch a YouTube video first?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree.
But, I can't knock people again, because life's busy, and we all have our shit going on. But personally, I get a deep sense of satisfaction and enjoyment out of theory crafting, putting the theory to test, and then whether or not it's successful or not, like, you know, iterating on it, improving it, refining it. I enjoy that process. And I think that was maybe it's our generation or the generation before us, but I think that was a big part of what made people enjoy video games. Like, I think about games like Ultima, EverQuest, or even just go read the old forums for Eve. Like, the way that people would talk about the game, how it was, like, clear that everyone in the game didn't know every little detail about everything. Everyone's still kind of exploring and figuring things out. That's a fun vibe, for me personally. I like it whenever there's that sense of exploration and discovery.
I agree. I mean, honestly, for a while there, my last break that I took, I got really fucking frustrated because of, honestly, other players. Because of just the same,
Also, what's up, everybody?
the same reasoning of
I'm just of T5s right now. Might crank it up.
People fitting their ships a different way, and then the better vets telling them it's a fucking shit fit, and then providing no logical, detailed explanation on why that fit is supposedly a shit fit. They're just throwing the fucking term out left and right.
You gotta have some empathy too for the vets on this. You know, just play devil's advocate, because they have had to explain so many of these concepts to new players on so many different occasions. You know, I'm sure that after, because for me, like, think about how many times I've taught someone how to do the Abyss. Like, something as simple as explaining, like, power grid to someone for the 10,000th time, I'm sure. I could see how they would lose some patience, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I get that. I do. But at the same time, it just, like, you know, yeah. But, you know, if you're playing the game, it's at the same time you should be really expecting new players. Or at least, hopefully, anyway, if you want the fucking game to keep going. But at the same time, I was getting tired of it, because I was just dealing with the same bitter vets, and then them throwing out the term shit fit, and then me putting my 2 cents in, and then arguments and all that. I'm like, you know, it's a fucking game. I got tired of it, so I just took like a 2-month break. But, you know, honestly, every time I engage in PvP, I truly, honestly have no idea who I'm fighting, in the sense of what I'm fighting against, you know? And for example, like, I don't fly MR because I don't really. I do, and I kind of
shake so bad sometimes. I killed a fucking retriever in the Tholos yesterday or the day before, and I was like shaking, killing a fucking mining barge.
Damn.
It was funny.
But, like, you know, sometimes I fly MR, and I can use T2 small lasers, but I don't fly anything really. I don't have T2 gunneries and any skills in the lasers, but I have a Mauler that has no lasers on it. I have autocannons on it.
Yeah.
Because it's got pretty good resists. It's a pretty hefty little T1 cruiser. And everybody expects, oh, it's a Mauler. Yeah, well, I'm gonna change my armor resist to EM and thermal, not expecting that that I have autocannons on them. So I'm gonna be doing kinetic and explosive depending on the ammo. But yeah,
you said
that's
mostly,
that's the
hang out
point.
in faction warfare, right?
What's that?
You said you mostly hang out in like faction warfare.
I do now. But before then, I was in Null. I was in Slow. Yeah, I was in Null, and then I came out and over here in Faction Warfare. But I have to say,
cool who's the guy running it? Is his name Matt? I can't remember his name.
For Minmill,
no, Slow.
Oh yeah, Matt O'Haron.
Capacitor
Matt's-
is empty.
Yeah, they're a bunch of group. The whole group's actually really nice. They're really cool dudes over
Yeah,
there.
that was when I was with Cap in the last alliance when he was running the Killer Whales Free Navy. That was my most of my coordination was slow. Was like helping Killer Whales defend that Fort Azar I was talking about. And yeah, Matt's like a really competent pilot. Got a lot of respect for.
Yeah, do you see his biggest kill? He was the first one to kill a python out in Nullsec.
I did not, but that's very cool.
Yeah, fucking crazy too. And I'm like, when I saw the kill mail, and I was like, of course, it would be slow making the first kill mail for that type of thing. But I have to say though, with Minmatar Militia, these guys that I fly with, a lot of them are honestly really fucking cool. I don't see myself moving or going anywhere else from here for probably ever, because the guys that I fly with, like I said, we're just really relaxed, really cool. We just want to fucking play the game, man. Have fun, shits and giggles, play the game. And so we use a lot of ships that aren't well within what they're supposed to be fitted with, you know.
Sure.
We just really put shit together and honestly surprise
Really
a lot of the
leaning
people
into
that we fight.
Mimitar roleplay there.
What's that?
I said really leaning into the Mimitar roleplay there. Just slap whatever you got together and fly it.
Yeah.
Crazy how much these electrical filaments are. 60 mil for a filament.
Damn.
Let's see. So I haven't been doing it too long. 227 mil
Not bad.
in 42 minutes. I haven't done a 6 yet. I'm honestly feeling a little sketched out about it. After my power surged. And I let this run take way too long. I'm being a little too like chill and AFK in here to. I can't be this like casual in a 6, but it's really fun to be able to be this casual in 5s, like just kind of chilling, basically just printing money.
Yeah, I got you. Let me ask you, were you born and raised in Florida, or you just happened to move here from somewhere else?
Oh no, not born and raised. Yeah, even just getting a little baby electrical filament, a T4 is like 7.
I'll be right back.
For sure.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Warp drive active.
Fuck it, we're gonna pop into a 6. Hey. Should have repaired my drones first. get much better in this. My missiles like make it over to this guy. This tower will kill missiles. Awesome. Wow, the game loves me today. Give me some loot. It's not bad. I'll take it. What's up, everybody? We're in a T6 right now, just chilling.
A module has run out of charges.
We're all about to die at once here. A spicy room. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm gonna run the mutated, augmented infiltrators here. split EM thermal. They have pretty high DPS and tracking. These rats are 10% across the board on their resistances. These drones are doing about 378 DPS versus the 247 Valkyries. So, here are my dissipators, then my entanglers, and then orbit up on Karen. Missile, get those reloading.
A module has run out of charges.
My biggest problem with T6s right now is similar to the problem you'd have with the Stormbringer. You know, if I get the wrong combination of rooms. I've had double Karen over mine who gotten out with 30 seconds before. So it's kind of spicy. Drop mutated Republic fleet Valkyries for Karen. It's so dark in here, holy crap.
A module has run out of charges.
This is where I need that breacher charge. super lucky on the first 2 rooms. We're leaving nice and healthy. What's that run worth? We made 130. It's right on median. With the 5s, you can basically just orbit cache and drop drones and AFK with the current setup. I'll be a little active, but mostly just chill and relaxing.
Alright, I'm back, sorry. Was getting kind of hungry, so I wouldn't got something to eat.
Yeah, I hear that.
Has run out of charges.
Are you one of those that has a specific faction that you typically fly more than any other?
No. Baristas. Yeah, technically.
I mean, like basic, the standard 4. Yeah, specifically for like PvP.
I feel like for PvP, most PvP I've done has been in Hecate. A Tengu, or Retribution.
Gotcha.
Granted, I mean, I've done like fleet stuff, but I don't really care about any of that PvP wise. I just care about like what I'm able to do solo. I'm not saying like, I won't do it or I don't have fun. I'm just saying like I don't get any sort of like accomplishment or feeling of like getting a tag on a 1 bill kill mail.
I gotcha.
I love the shack room in the Abyss. It's so fast.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
The shacks just die so fast.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
Yeah, I think I'm almost at 500 mil for the little session here.
A module has run out of charges.
Man, I need some music.
Play that funky music, white boy.
Play that funky music till you die. Dang, dude, they've given me like so many of these like spark lance rooms, the like easy baby drone rooms. Got some lurkers hanging out. Don't really know what to do other than the Abyss right now.
Yeah, I know it. I'm waiting for supply depots to pop up.
gotten to a point now where even I went back to go run level 4 missions, and I think level 4 missions are a lot more lucrative than they used to be if you know what you're doing. But there's so many different missions, and they all have so many different nuances that, you know, in terms of like really squeezing out the maximum amount of value per effort spent. But man, T5 Abyss and a Pacific Gila, once you're set up right, it's so chill. I literally just orbit, drop drones. It reminds me of like ratting and nullsec, but the money is so easy. It does get a little boring.
Has run out of charges. charges.
I need to go grab a drink. You guys, make sure I don't die.
Pretty logical reason.
I'm back. My little
Would you get a
kitty
Red
left,
Bull?
Murdoch.
Went to its real owners, I bet.
I guess.
Huh.
Pesky real owners. No, I'm just drinking green tea. Are there still any big drops from the abyss? Like 1 bill plus drops? I haven't seen anything since I've been back to the game. I don't know if anyone watching can hear this, but I feel like I used to get some big drops.
Our module has run out of charges.
Same throne room again.
A module has run out of charges.
Looking like a missile.
capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
Damavec, what?
I was watching this Damavec in the speed cloud, and he's just like zipping around in circles repeatedly. You've you know the speed clouds in the abyss?
Never done anyone.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've done the very low tier ones with the Tristan, which was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I was doing T0s in the Tristan the other day whenever I put up that video on like my thoughts on abyssal progression. You know, because you can run T0s in pretty much anything. Kind of, you know, in line with what we were talking about earlier about, you know, properly fitting and that sort of thing. It's actually how I recommend people learn the Abyss, is like from the ground up, because you will find out why people tell you not to use things like blasters and they don't even know why they're telling you not to use blasters. They heard it, and they heard it from someone they trust, so they repeat it.
Yeah, of course.
Because you can use blasters in the abyss, which is very bad. But you can make it work.
A module has run out of charges.
It's like actually my favorite activity to recommend to people, just because like it is difficult and a lot of people end up quitting it. But I think if you can stick it out and like figure out T0 up to T6 by yourself without anyone helping you, you will learn the game so much more intimately. Especially like mechanics regarding application of damage and tanking it. Where you'll have a fit that says like 600 paper DPS, and you think that's dog shit compared to the 1200 paper DPS, but the 1200 paper DPS like applies half as much. There's a little program that someone has that analyzes the combat log to show your actual output damage. I used that a lot whenever I was theory crafting stuff.
Oh my gosh, I did not realize that there's fucking insurgencies, 2 high-sec systems fucking deep. Ordering Wrens.
Yeah, I've yet to even like mess with the faction warfare ever since the new introduction of the pirate stuff.
Well, it's pretty fun. So in Amamake, last time we had the insurgency, we were able to get it to max, so we could use bubbles and bombs, which was really cool. However, insurgency doesn't respawn in the same system twice, so we suspect that CCP probably